Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of my modern video series where we pick a deck in the format and run it through some matches on Magic Online, talk about the deck and some sideboarding, and some gameplay and basic strategy. Today we have Knightfall. This is a deck, new deck made possible by Battle for Zendikar, the new card Retreat to Coral Helm. If you're not familiar with the basic strategy of the deck, definitely check out some of my articles on Modern Nexus. As of recording this video, the last article I've written is a big primer on Knightfall, so I would definitely suggest reading that to get up to speed. I'll talk through how the deck works briefly, but I would highly suggest checking out that article if you want some more information. As always, this video series is made possible by Modern Nexus and Card Hoarder. Modern Nexus hosts the video series on their website and their YouTube page, and so wherever you're watching it from, make sure you check out the other site. And Card Hoarder loans us the cards that we can use to play these decks and have a lot of fun trying out different decks in the format, so definitely check them out at cardhoarder.com. So that being said, let's get into the main deck. Alright, so the basic strategy of the deck is combining Retreat to Coral Helm and Knight of the Reliquary together. When you have these two on the battlefield and you untap with Knight of the Reliquary, you can use the tap ability to sacrifice a forest or plain, search your library for a land card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. What that does is for every forest/plains, you can sack a land to go get a land. This gives you a landfall trigger with Retreat to Coral Helm on the battlefield, letting you untap your knight, and you can continue this process to burn through your deck. There are a lot of interesting interactions with this. Fetch lands give you 2 landfall triggers, so you can stack scries to scry the top of your deck after you're done fetching. Throughout the process, you want to finish off with a Satyri step, or you can use extra fetch triggers to tap down blockers, so you result in I think this list can make a 17-17 or 18-18 Knight of the Reliquary pretty often, and then you just either give it protection from blockers if they have, like, say, a Sylvan Caryatid or like a whole bunch of tokens or something, or you can tap down guys by searching up fetch lands with Knight of the Reliquary to get extra landfall triggers, and then sacking the fetch lands for forest plains to continue the chain. We're playing a few bullets. Knight of the Reliquary just lets you play bullets in your mana base. I really like Gavin Township alongside mana guys. Ghost Quarter is pretty sweet against Tron, and pairs up pretty nicely with our Crucible of Worlds in the sideboard. Horizon Canopy is awesome for when we're flooding, or just want to use Knight of the Reliquary to cantrip, and Obero is great for getting extra land drops and then having a blue source that untaps under Choke, but we're really not a deck where our opponent is going to be bringing in Choke that often, so that's not often relevant, but it is something to keep in mind. 21 land, 7 mana creatures. I started with 8, but 7 I think is the right number. Noble Hierarch is better in this list than Birds of Paradise, just because we appreciate the exalted triggers when we're trying to attack with step lengths, or like, say, Loxodon Smiters into 4/5 Tassacres and things like that. So Noble Hierarch is great. I really like step links in the list. If you have a step links out while you're executing your combo, it's basically another creature that you can grow to 18-18, or while Knight of the Reliquary is 18-18, this guy's gonna end up being like 32-32 or 36-36 or something like that. It doesn't matter, but just another creature to that appreciates playing all these fetch lands and can take advantage of these landfall triggers that we're getting, and it's just an all-around pretty solid creature. Step links can suck out some removal, so they're casting Lightning Bolt or Terminate on our step links, and that's one less Bolt or Terminate that is going after Knight. So in a sense, he's a cheap creature that applies pressure and also can protect our combo. Same can be said for Tarmogoyf. For playing green, so we have to play Tarmogoyf because he's awesome. But yeah, he's great. He feeds into our game plan of just trying to take advantage of tempo generating effects, like Path to Exile, Remand, and then the tap ability on Retreat to Coral Helm to hit our opponent hard, starting very quickly. Voice of Resurgence is a great creature alongside mana guys. Our 2/2 can end up turning into like a 4/4 or a 5/5, and he discourages our opponents from holding up mana to interact with us on our turn, which helps us execute our combo more regularly. And he's a great creature. He's good against Jund, just because we can sack the Voice and leave a creature behind against Liliana the Veil. Against most decks in the format, he requires 2 cards to deal with, so a 2-drop that trades up is pretty awesome. And then the 3-drops, Geist of Sainttraft is really good alongside Retreat to Coral Helm. If we can consistently tap down blockers, Geist is one of the best creatures in the format. I like him a lot. And yeah, most games are won by playing a early Geist of Sainttraft on turn 2, getting in a couple hits by either remanding their spells or Path to Exile to kill their blockers, or Retreat to Coral Helm to tap down some blockers. This is kind of our backup plan when we're not trying to execute our combo. And it's worth saying that I've built this deck to be able to use both Retreat to Coral Helm and Knight of the Reliquary's abilities individually when I don't have them together. So for example, Retreat to Coral Helm is great just tapping down blockers or helping us scry through our deck when we're trying to hit him with Tarmogoyf. Knight of the Reliquary is great when we don't have Retreat. We can search up Gavany Township, or even just like a 4/4 or 5/5 for 3 isn't the worst. So yeah, that's that. Moving on to the sideboard, Stony Silence, as always. Any deck that has access to white really wants Stony Silence for affinity. It's pretty good against Tron too. I've seen a lot of mono blue Tron lately, and Stony Silence is better against the mono blue Tron than it is against red green Tron, but it's good against both. A little more help for Tron, Aven Mind Sensor, and the Crucible of Worlds. They both do a few different things. Aven Mind Sensor is good against Scape Shift. Crucible of Worlds is good against I don't really bring it in against the control decks, but Crucible of Worlds rebuying Horizon Canopy is something that we can do. I haven't done it yet, but you never know. It's a neat little interaction, but it's definitely here as my main plan against Tron, and I've been able to do it once or twice, and it's been a lot of fun. Dispel is like the second best blue card in Modern behind Snapcaster Mage. This card's awesome and really good for when we're trying to power out cheap things. We can go turn 1 Birds, turn 2 Tarmogoyf with a Dispel for their Spell Snare. Is a very common play, even just protecting our guys from removal for 1 mana. It's pretty common. Deprive I like as just a hard counter. I guess we could play a Mana Leak, but I like Deprive on the board. Double blue hasn't been awkward that much. It's definitely been awkward sometimes, but we normally have double blue often, just prioritizing fetching Breeding Pool and Hallowed Fountain. And I like, returning a land gives us an extra land drop if we need it, and just the hard counter going late against some matchups has been great. So I like having access to one of those type effects that isn't, a remand. Dismember, there are a lot of Siege Rhinos and Tarmogoyfs and Tassigurs running around. Dismember handles all of those, along with, things like Grim Lavamancer, Mana Guys, pretty much everything Dismember can kill, and it's a good catch-all answer in the board. Not the best against Burn, but sometimes you have to kill a Eidolon of the Great Revel. And yeah, if you find yourself needing creature removal, we're already playing the 4 path, so Dismember is kind of the 5th removal spell for these colors, and it's been fine. I like it. Talking about Burn, Feed the Clan is here primarily for Burn. I feel like the matchup is strong enough that I don't really need him, but I also don't like skimping on Burn hate. I like being pretty solid in that matchup, especially online, because we run into Burn pretty often online. And then Kitchen Finks is great in these colors. Being able to play it on turn 2 is awesome. It pairs well with Gavany Township, and then it's great against mid-range, it's great against aggro, it's great against control. I love Kitchen Finks, and he's been pretty good for me here. And then Spellskite is just another catch-all answer that also helps us to protect our combo. This card's been great too. So that is that. We'll jump into the matches and hopefully come out the other end with a 3-0. We'll see.